Oh, I don't know you.
Madam Chair,
We're on. Good evening, everyone. This is Tuesday, September 29th, the end of another month, and it is 7 o'clock Selectmen time. The minutes, please.
Motion to accept?
second.
All in favor? Aye. Today we have with us our Capital Planning Committee, and they are going to discuss with us some numbers, I guess, right, Brandon?
Yes. Ready to go on that?
Oh, we are ready to go, sir,
Okay.
as long as you are.
We'll give you a general overview of what we have planned so far. And again, these numbers may be adjusted based on where the free cash comes in, etc., etc. But starting out with sewer, and just to overview sewer, that's coming directly from sewer retained earnings, so that's not coming from any free cash or overlay account. They're requesting a wastewater pump at a cost of $102,143. A muffin monster at a cost of 50. Yes, it's a monster of a muffin, I believe. I believe the sewer commissioner will describe that in detail at town meeting. At a cost of $15,645, again from retained earnings, sewer retained earnings. A concrete well coating at a cost of $55,650, again from sewer retained earnings. And a heated enclosure at a cost of $215,000, again from sewer retained earnings, to add up to a subtotal of $388,438. And then from fire requested one pickup with a utility body. 25,000 of that amount is coming from the fire alarm account, and they're requesting from capital 25,000 from free cash overlay, which would be a subtotal of 50,000 for that item. So 25,000 would come from free cash overlay for that item. The building department, we're requesting a new truck. I believe the first new truck the building department will have in my time on capital. He's requesting a pickup truck or SUV, either or, for $28,000, and that's coming from free cash overlay. The Council on Aging senior centre roof, they described it has been in very poor condition, and they have come up with a quote of $23,000 for a replacement roof and some odds and ends in that area. Again, coming from free cash overlay. The police department is requesting 4 vehicles, one from for the chief, and 3 utility vehicles for the fleet. We are recommending tonight, subject to free cash being finalised, 2 vehicles, one for the chief and 1 utility vehicle for the fleet. The jail cells, we funded that $100,000 last year, and there's an $80,000 back need for that, and we're recommending that go forward this year, which would give a total jail cell replacement of $180,000. 100 from last year, 80 from this year. The highway department are requesting a trackless brush mower for $100,000 from free cash and 55 from the stormwater fund. The stormwater fund can be tapped for that because the trackless brush mower does use refunds or uses or fixes those stormwaters. So it technically can be tapped. Part of it can be tapped from that account. Self-storage dome, this is a big item, and it came up. A lot of discussion was on this issue. It's basically a saltwater dome, a salt storage dome. This new dome would store about 29,000 tons of salt for the winter. The Highway Department, a loose number that he used on a regular basis was on or about 25,000 on an average year. This would give, in a perfect world, he could, at off-season, put enough salt in that storage department for the whole year. And we recommend to begin to fund that. The number he used was about 275,000. We figure we may be able to put 100,000 towards that this year. The central dispatch, another number going from software of 130,000 coming from free cash overlay. The total free cash overlay that we're recommending tonight, subject to adjustments again, going forward tonight is on or about $594,000. And that's all I have for you. Thank you very much. Any questions?
No, I'm reading over your priorities as to what what you would recommend, so to speak. And I concur that is pretty good. I think it's important that the salt dome be in there, because even if it takes them 2 years to get it, it will help in the third year.
I think so too. I think that is the way the winters are coming. Nobody knows what the future brings.
Right, and he has great difficulty trying to get salt.
He has.
When it's like 2 feet of snow on the ground and you're looking for it, you can't get it.
And it goes,
that's a good
it
thing.
goes sky high at the when you need it most. The price goes through
Exactly,
the roof.
exactly.
So it would be great for the town of Raynham long term to have that salt
I
dome.
think so. I think so. I concur with your selections. I have no problem with any one of them.
I do have a question, Madam Chair.
Yeah, go right ahead.
Brendan, as always, a great job by you and your committee.
Pleasure.
Having served under you for a couple of years, I know the amount of work that goes into it, and I apologize, I have a cold, so that's why I have the water and all this good stuff.
I gave it to him last week.
Yeah, I believe so. Karen's
I
next
started
in
it. Karen's next in line.
But my question is, we don't know yet where we are with free cash, but we're not getting great projections on overlay. And so unlike previous years, my guesstimate might be that these numbers might have to go down, not up. And if you haven't already, and I'm sure you have because you're always very diligent, maybe we give some thought to what gets cut.
Of course.
My preference would be to have everybody on board prior to a town meeting vote. I know Randy's going to be working with the assessor's office to really hammer out overlay, and we can make sure Randy gets you that data as soon as we have it. But the conversations that we've all had, it's not looking great. So that would be my opinion. And I don't necessarily know it's the worst thing that we don't spend everything this year.
And yes, and I would agree with that totally. I think the departments could be briefed on the potentiality of certain items not being funded.
Right.
Yeah.
In the event the cash is not there.
If it's not there, it's not there, and obviously somebody has to get cut, so
Yes.
we should go over it ahead of time.
Yes, and perspective-wise, I would still say, and it's a credit to you, Brendan, and your team, but if you look what we've done in Raynham over the past few years compared to a lot of other communities, I still think we've been leaps and bounds ahead. And you look to a lot of different places, especially down the Cape, who have tourism dollars, which are things we don't get to benefit from, and they still have hiring freezes and virtually no capital expenditures. So I would just, for our department heads, and I'm sure most of them are aware of it, but to put everything in perspective, that we continue to do the best we can but we are still in unique financial times that require creativity and fiscal restraint.
I would concur completely.
And that's why we keep you as chairman.
Thank you.
But thank you, Brendan, I appreciate it.
Pleasure.
Karen, do you have any comments?
You did a good job, thank you very much.
Thank you.
So that's where we stand. Anyone else would like to say something? Finance? No?
Yeah, we
Yes.
met last night and we agreed with.
Gil, would you please speak so that the people at home can hear you?
Gil Aligi, Chairman of the Finance Committee. The Finance Committee met last evening, and we went through the list that Brendan just presented, and we agree with things as they are, with the understanding that the numbers may change as the free cash and assessors overlay becomes defined. Thanks.
Yeah, we can make sure that Randy keeps you in the loop as well.
Yeah, he has been, yep. Have you set a date yet, proposed warrant of this special town meeting?
That's first on my,
Okay.
That's first on his
List here.
little comments when he's going to make them in a few minutes. Thank you all for coming in. If you want to wait a minute, we can get to that. We have no appointments this evening, no public hearings, any new business?
None, Madam Chair.
Old business? Town Administrator, please, your report.
yes, date for the fall town meeting. We had 2 dates, or I had 2 dates in mind, Monday, November 16th, and Thursday, November 12th.
Yeah.
Both were okay with town moderator. 16th, I think, is the best choice. It gives us an extra 4 days. As you know, free cash hasn't been certified and may not be certified until, well, hopefully by mid-November. So anyway, that is my recommendation.
Do you want to vote, Randy?
Motion to accept?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
What, the 16th of November?
And Randy, John's okay with that?
Yes.
Okay.
And that would be the town meeting.
And that was when again, Monday?
Monday.
It's Monday, yes.
So what's that do for Gil closing the articles?
What's the close of articles?
Um,
October what?
I'm going to actually have a draft warrant for next week's meeting.
Okay.
So,
Next week.
yep.
Next week. And that would be October 6th. Okay.
Very good. So I'll go on, I'll finish my report here. An article has been proposed by Highway Superintendent Ed Buckley to update and modernize the emergency parking ban for snow events. And that will be reviewed by Town Council and the board, and then you can give me your opinion after you've had a chance to read that. And then upcoming meeting on Wednesday, October 7th at 9 a.m. That's the Sursage monthly meeting, and that's all I have for tonight.
Any questions for Randy?
Thank you.
From
Thank you.
anyone? Okay. Selectmen's report.
Very, very brief. Ed's coming in next week, but I want to beat him to the punch.
Oh, gosh.
Just a kudos to he and his department on all the road work taking place in Raynham. When I see Mayor Hoare, I remind him, even though I don't need to, where Taunton ends and Raynham begins. But Ed, I think, has done a phenomenal job with that department and making a lot of strides to bringing it up to, I think, where it should be. And hats off to him, including on these very aggressive road projects. And that's all I have.
To add just a little bit to that, I saw the beautiful sign that just got put up at the Anchor. Did you
Yes.
see that?
Oh,
I
I
did.
did see that.
And
Good.
all the
Nice job
flowers and
landscaping
everything
it.
that's around that, and that was the highway department that did all that. They cleaned up the stumps on the right-hand side, and I stopped at the side of the road and watched them work for a little bit and told them what a great job they were doing. And it really is nice, very nice, yeah.
Good.
Karen?
Nope, I agree with you. I drove by and I thought the same thing. Came out really nice. Looks very.
My first thing was, who's putting up a sign? So I came in to Randy, and I was talking to him, and I said, I'm going back out, I gotta go see who's doing that sign. And it was the highway department, and they were planting the flowers. It really, really looks nice, really looks nice. I went to the Board of Directors meeting for a rave last night. First time I ever attended a rave meeting, but they asked me to come, and I did, and was elected to the board. As liaison from the Board of Selectmen. It was a most interesting meeting, it really was. You know, they have new members, and I had to write everything down. Let's see. Patty Wagner is the new president of the Early Childhood Parents Organization, and Deb Wetstell is the new school principal of the Merrill School. Lovely, lovely lady. She was so interesting in the things that they're anticipating doing at the school and all. It was very good. The board also voted to to change Derek Swenson's role on the board from assistant superintendent to superintendent effective October 1st. The Rave Salutes to Veterans Committee purchased an additional 30 flags last year from donations that they had received, because they do that only as fundraisers. All the money is donated to them. 30 more flags will be going up, so they'll be extending the flags all through the center of town. Now, because these are all purchased through donations, they do have a fundraiser coming up. That's on Saturday evening, October 17th, at the American Legion. The tickets are $20, and it is a comedy night. So if you want a good laugh, PG-13, good fun, go to the American Legion or pick up tickets. Let's see who's selling the tickets. Well, you can get them from any one of the rave volunteers, and I'm sure that everybody knows them. Go to the school if you have to and pick up a ticket. It sounds like it's going to be a really good time. Also, the La Liberty Harvest Fair is this Saturday. Those of you who have children in school and do not have children in school, go to support that. That's a good thing. That's a lot of fun. And I will have more on that meeting for our next meeting, because it was a lot to take in for the first time, but very, very interesting. I cannot imagine the Raynham Middle School doing as much as they are for after-school programs. They've got something for everyone. Whatever a child is interested in, they'll find it there. And I firmly believe that those things that the child does outside of reading, writing, and arithmetic and learning the structures is very important to children, because some kids go to school because of it. And they focus on school because they know at the end of the day they're going to do something that they really like. So I congratulate them all, and I congratulate the new people that we have, and I think they're going to do a fantastic job. And that was my report on that. Also, letter we received last week regarding Officer Clark and the use of the North School. I took this letter to the police department and discussed it with the chief, and he said yes. The letter requests them using this for training, and it's a special response team, and I'm thinking of that as like a SWAT team, you know. They're going to go in there, and, well, if they're going to barge into the doors, and what are they coming in there with, battering rams, and they're going to destroy the whole building and everything else. And the chief assured me that I was a little bit off base, and no, they are not going to do that. And in fact, he himself would like to use the building for training purposes, either with the canine dogs or with the men themselves going in and doing what they have to do to, if they were going to apprehend somebody in a vacant building or what have you. And I said that I believed that that would be all right, but I would bring it to the board, obviously, to discuss. This, of course, would all be done until the North School became what it almost is intended to, as storage and things of that nature. So until that time, as we have any municipal papers or anything in there that, of, you know, any like that, then I would say that this would be okay for them to use.
Motion to accept.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
I would just, Madam Chair, make sure the scheduling with Mr. Buckner.
Yes, I already
Um,
told them that they would have to make sure
Yeah,
that somebody
because-
knows when
yeah.
they're going in there, when they're not going, and
Yeah.
doing whatever.
Because just about everybody at this point has requested the use of that building,
I
so.
know, and we have to make sure that we know who's using the building. I know we're having some adopt a pet type of thing going on there once a month or something.
Yeah.
And all these things, once the building has established its purpose, in other words, if it is going to be storage, then all right, how are we going to do it? There's still many steps to go before that happens. And until then, I can't see any reason why people cannot, as long as they come forward with a letter telling us what they want and we approve it, then we go from there. And then when the building is secure from the purpose that it was intended, all of this stuff will cease. But that's where we are, okay? Correspondence. We have from Michael King, Gretchen Way. This is a citizen's petition, and it is to see whether the town meeting, general court petition this is for the Two Jerks Barbecue Kitchen and Bar, okay? It's to obtain an additional license for the sale of all alcoholic beverages to be drunk on the premises, to be issued to the establishment known as Two Jerks Barbecue, and this is given by petition.
You forward to the clerk's office, she has a determination she has to make in terms of the petition.
Exactly. It appears they have quite a few, but she would still have to
Yeah,
approve,
she has to
certify them all. Okay? Yes, sir.
Second.
Here are what?
161 certified signatures.
Oh, they have
I gave it to her
Oh, you are jumping.
ahead of
Get
time.
in there,
Well,
Randy.
time is short, so.
Time is, oh, yes, I'm sorry. I did not look at the very last page. I thought it was more
Randy,
signatures.
so do you need us to vote to accept that tonight?
You have to accept it.
Sure.
You have to accept it.
Motion to accept.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So that will go on as a
Citizen petition.
citizen's petition. This is an application for an entertainment license at 701 Broadway. And this is the
Two jerks.
Two Jerks.
Hearing, Madam Chair,
I would say, please.
2 weeks?
2 weeks? Yeah, we can't do it next week.
No.
The 13th?
I'm still in September, so.
So, yeah.
No, jump to October.
13.
I'd
Okay.
second that motion.
Second.
Aye.
All in favor? Aye. Hearing Two Jerks. Okay, will you take care of that, maybe? Thank you.
Speeding complaints. from
Speeding.
Pleasantville.
Pass this on to the police department, because, there's really nothing we can do to stop speeders. That would have to be directly with the police department. And I understand people's complaints about it, because they speed all over town. The signs are there on most of the streets, but no one really pays any attention to it. She has, this particular person has several suggestions. Maybe the police department can review them and see if they can use any of them. Flu clinic, sign up on October 1st. You have to meet with a representative of the pharmacy on October 1st from 10 a.m. to 12, and provide them with information prior to receiving the shot. This is being done to expedite the administering of the shots on the following Thursday. People aged 65 and older receive the shot free of charge because of Medicare. And this is at the Raynham Senior Center. And Joseph, you can't get your shot if you still have a cold, so,
No, and I'm supposed to get it next Monday.
well, you better not have a cold.
I know.
Okay. Oh, this is the parking ban, proposed parking ban during snow events, and it is quite lengthy. But this is, yeah. This is an amendment to the general bylaws, so this will have to go to the proper people to do that. Raynham Housing Authority, what do we have from them? Oh. They're in contact. Let's the date on this? September, okay. They are in, Mr. Buckner, let's see. I am in contact with the Department of Housing and Community Development in regards to Chief Janice's letter regarding the fire alarm system at the Pyrewin Terrace complex located at 75 Mill Street. Enclosed, find my correspondence from Raynham Housing Authority to the Department of Housing and Community Development. This is a letter from Karen Riley, who is the Executive Director at the Housing Authority, and she has been in correspondence with all of the people that are connected with the grants that are available from the state. As you well know, the Housing Authority is comprised of federal and state funding and not Town of Raynham funding. And they do need new fire alarm system. Our chief had made a presentation to us and sent letters forwarded to Mark Pacheco, Senator Pacheco, and Representative D'Amelia, with several others, telling them of the need to have this done. We've been waiting to see whether or not the state's going to come through with funds for her to be able to put these fire alarms in. I spoke myself with Angelo D'Amelia, because I met him at another meeting, and I know she's been in contact with Senator Pacheco's office because I happen to have been there when his office called. So we have to just wait and see what's going to happen, but they do need these fire alarms. And I hope she's going to be able to get some sort of funding to put them in, because I don't know where else she's going to get the money for it. And that takes care of correspondence, and we have no press time. Emergency business, none. Citizen input, none.
Motion to adjourn and sign the warrants.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much for coming. We appreciate all that you do. Thank you, Brendan.